Broncos have made a signing that the more research I do, the more I'm impressed I am for a player that I had never heard of before, which is Panther safety or former Panther safety, Sam Franklin. So a little background on him, and then we'll talk about what his role is on this defense. Spoiler, it's special teams, which may not feel like a big needle mover to you, but I think it's going to be a great influence on that third of the field. He was a UDFA coming out of Temple. He made the 53-man roster as a rookie, which is very rare for a UDFA. He played 5 seasons in Carolina. He was a team captain in 2024. He unfortunately missed some time with a foot injury suffered before the season began, so that took a dip into his production. He's had some flashes on defense. Here are his career stats through 5 seasons. He's got a 99-yard pick six from 2023, so a decent highlight reel, him and Pat Surtain, and that very rare company of 99-yard returns, 5 pass breakups, 3 tackles for loss. He also shows a lot of emotion. When I was learning about Sam Franklin, I saw a video of him kind of jawing off with a Buccaneers player after a Panthers-Bucs game in 2024. So I like that fiery tenacity. Let's go. But at the end of the day, Denver is finding a special teams ace, which is where I might lose some of the casuals where they go, who cares about that? But the diehards stick around because this has, I think, some really good value. You look at his special team snaps throughout his 5-year career, and he has been a consistent force. And Darren Rizzi, who comes over from New Orleans, is starting to put together his cornerstone pieces on special teams that last year, I wouldn't say it was bad as a unit. It had one awful moment, we can all agree, in Kansas City. But outside of that, it was an okay unit. And okay units don't really scream, we need a massive change. However, both the special teams coordinator and the assistant head coach / special teams coach are gone from last year. So there's a decent overhaul being done in this department. And Darren Rizzi continues to bring in bodies that can fill what he wants to accomplish there. So we're looking at a 1-year contract that's probably going to be around $3 to $4 million. It's not going to be a huge investment for a team captain in Carolina, a special team czar, and a guy that's got some emotion when talking about rival teams. If week 1 rolls around and it's Denver, Kansas City, and Sam Franklin's out there and he's talking smack to Patrick Mahomes, tell me he's not going to be the most popular man in Denver the very next morning. So I like this signing. It's a name that you probably hadn't heard of before, but the more I did research on, the more I liked when I came to this move. So it gets a thumbs up for me. I feel like I am Chuck Noll in Dodgeball when Peter LaFleur is looking for all 3 thumbs up. So it gets my seal of approval when it comes to this free agent signing. Now, I do want to look at the trickle-down effect here because P.J. Locke might be in a little bit of hot water. I don't know if he is now a guaranteed lock, no pun intended, to make the 53-man roster. Can we revisit the safety department for a second here? There's 2 ways of looking at this. One, this signing shows zero faith in the backup safeties they have who were there for special teams. Delaire and Turner Yell, J.L. Skinner, Devon Key, right? Those are guys that make the roster for being special teams contributors. Turner Yell was a good special teamer 2 years ago, missed all of 2024 recovering from a torn ACL. So the safety room might look like Brandon Jones, Talanoa Hufanga, Tossin Sam Franklin, and then P.J. Locke versus everyone else. That's what I think it's shaping up to be. We've got a long ways to go until roster cutdown day at the end of August, and inevitably, unfortunately, injuries do happen, and that usually throws a wrench into things. But Locke, I'm going to put on the hot seat a little bit because the way he played last year, well, the way Denver looked at it was we got to sign Hufanga to a $45 million contract to keep him off the field. Actions speak louder than words. And now they make a second safety addition. So just something to keep your eye on. Now, we're going to talk about the defense in more detail in just a moment here. But I told you guys when free agency started, when signings happen, we're going to get a video out to you. So don't miss any more Broncos news than you have to by subscribing to the channel. That way you can stay locked in on your favorite team all year long. Now, another signing happened today I want to touch on. Lucas Krull, he just officially signed like pen to paper to the contract. This is not new information, though. So Krull comes back. It was an exclusive rights free agent signing. What that means is there's unrestricted free agents, which is about like, let's say, 85% of free agents. And then there's restricted free agents and exclusive rights free agents. So unrestricted is the most common one. It just, you can sign anywhere you like. You're unrestricted. Restricted is you can only negotiate with your team initially, and if they don't want to sign you, then you can go talk to other teams. And if another team makes an offer to you, your team can match that offer. Exclusive rights free agent is, hey, here's your offer, take it, or you can't play in the NFL. That's really it. So Lucas Krull had two options: be a Walmart greeter or play for the Broncos. Not a bad decision. Now, I've got more to get to on today's show, so don't go anywhere. But quick shout out to our friends over at Prize Picks. Prize Picks is the best place to get real money sports action. With over 10 million members and billions of dollars in awarded winnings, Prize Picks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. You just pick more or less on at least two players for a shot to win up to 1,000 times your cash. So if you want to take the more on a couple of Nuggets players, because I don't know if you saw this, they've been in the news today, or the less, whatever it may be, just hang out over at Prize Picks. It's a great way to stay a little bit more engaged in games that you may not have a huge interest in. Now, I put all this information for you guys in the comment section, but download the app today and use code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. All that information in the comments and description. Download the app today and use code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. Run your game. So this is the safety. This is the second safety signing we have seen so far in free agency. The first one and the most notable one, the 2022 All-Pro from the 49ers, Talanoa Hufanga. Big fan of this signing. Unfortunately, a torn ACL kind of derailed what would have been back-to-back All-Pro seasons. You can see in 2023, through 10 games, he had 3 interceptions, so he was on pace for yet another tremendous year. Tears that ACL. Probably lingered a little bit into 2024. He missed time due to other injuries this past season. Altogether, the Niners let him walk. Played just 17 games combined over 2 seasons. So I can somewhat understand where San Francisco's coming from, but I like this signing. I think this is going to be a fantastic signing while we just kind of talk about the safety room in general. And the Broncos defense, it was great last year. I love the way John Gruden put it. It was the anonymous crush. And now it's starting to become a little bit less anonymous when you get guys like Hufanga with their accolades already in their very young career. So we might have to workshop a new nickname. I'll kind of open it up to the floor here if anyone's got some suggestions. If the Broncos were the anonymous crush last year, what are they this year? I got nothing right now, but I'm going to work on it. So just to do a quick overview of the entire defense from front to back. The front three, your defensive line, you've got 2 great pass rushers in Zach Allen and John Franklin Myers. DJ Jones is going to be there to stop the run. Malcolm Roach will be a great rotational piece. A couple of question marks beyond that. I mean, there's other guys, they're backups, so the bar isn't supposed to be super high, but I would be interested in adding a defensive tackle earlier in this draft, just given that Allen and Franklin Myers going into the final stages of their contract. Jones, 30 years old, could be a good time to replenish on the D-line. Linebackers now, you added Dre Greenlaw. He's going to line up with Alex Singleton, who's coming off that torn ACL, and then Cooper and Bonito, 2 players coming off double-digit sack seasons, just wreaking havoc off the edge. And when they get a breather, it's not much better for the opposing offensive line. How about Jonah Ellis, 5 sacks as a rookie? How about DeAndre Tillman, a guy who came out of the UFL and went to Indiana University in Pennsylvania, whatever it's called? Well, he had 4 sacks against the Bucs. So even when Tillman and Bonito are catching their breath, they still have wave after wave after wave of pass rushers coming for you. And then in the secondary, we can just kind of skip over Pat Surtain because we all know what he's capable of. Best player in football at his position, the reigning NFL Defensive Player of the Year, Jaquan McMillan. The guy is just, I don't want to say this in a mean way, he's kind of a rat, right? From the offensive perspective, he's an absolute headache. He's going to be all over you. He's going to get under your skin. He's going to create turnovers. He's a rat. He's kind of like Brad Marchand, if anyone here is a hockey fan as well. Like, he is just someone that no one wants to deal with for 60 minutes. Oh, and Riley Moss, for anyone that's kind of fading him, we saw how valuable he was when he went down at the end of the season and they rushed him back from injury because they did not want to live life without him longer than they had to. And then the safety department here. Brandon Jones coming into year 2 of a 3-year deal he signed from Miami. Hufanga entering that first season with the Broncos. Super excited for what these two players can bring to the table. Jones last year was sneaky good. I mean, he had some really nice plays and takeaways and some impactful moments. And we saw what Hufanga can do when healthy. And sure, there's a little bit of crossing fingers and toes of when healthy, but I'm choosing to believe 2 years removed from that torn ACL, we're going to get a lot more of the 2022 Talanoa versus the 2023-2024 injury-prone guy. So how would you grade Denver's defense altogether? A, B, C, D, or F? I'm going to give you my grade in 5 seconds. Let's see if you and I had the same grade. A little test here. Ready? You can do pluses and minuses too, by the way. 3, 2, 1. A minus. The only thing holding me back from it being a big, flat-out A is I just got to see Greenlaw and Hufanga stay healthy. If both those guys play 100% of snaps the first 4 or 5 weeks of the season, man, you've got a brand new, great run stopper who's also awesome in coverage as well in Greenlaw. And then Hufanga, who's just going to be hopefully your next Justin Simmons when it comes to creating takeaways. So I'll give it an A minus. It's just contingent on those two guys staying healthy. So that's going to do it for us on today's episode. Hope you enjoyed our breakdown of the Sam Franklin signing and what the defense looks like now. We're going to get you guys on out of here. Before you leave, do me a big favor, though. Click that thumbs up button.